Hello, and welcome to Dispatches from the Civil War, a podcast breaking down events of the American Civil War week by week in real time. My name is Logan, and I will be your host. This week, the events of February 8th through the 14th in 1861. After giving his farewell speech last week, former Senator Jefferson Davis returns to his home. This week, he will be elected Provisional President of the Confederate States of America during a convention that is held in Montgomery, Alabama. Davis will accept this position with a sense of regret and foreboding when he receives a telegram on the 10th. As a graduate of West Point and having served in the Mexican War, I'm sure Davis does not want armed conflict to come between the United States and this fledgling Confederacy. Nevertheless, he accepts this responsibility and begins heading towards Montgomery. He will leave on the 11th. On the previous day, a constitution will be adopted by the Assembly that will closely resemble the United States Constitution with a few changes. Those changes will be in regards to the right to own slaves, treatment of fugitive slaves, and the power of sovereign states. Alexander Stephens will join Davis as the provisional vice president and be sworn in on the same day Davis leaves for Montgomery. These two choices are somewhat calculated as they are considered able and moderate as opposed to being fiery and fanatical, which should appeal to the border states that have not yet seceded. Along these lines, the Provisional Congress states that the laws of the United States of America are to remain valid unless they interfere with stated laws of the Confederacy. Speaking of the border states, Tennessee will not hold a state convention to rule on secession with a vote of 68,282 to 59,449. On the same day that Stephens is sworn in as provisional vice president and Davis begins heading towards Montgomery, President-elect Lincoln leaves Springfield, Illinois, for his journey to the federal capital. Along the route, he will give many speeches, but is cautious to express opinions that could tip the balance of the remaining states that have not yet seceded. While in Cincinnati, Ohio, he states his earlier intention of remaining silent about what he calls, quote, national difficulties, unquote. Nice phrase there. Well done. Earlier in the same city, he asked citizens to remain loyal to the Constitution. Likewise, Jefferson Davis will speak to crowds that gather along his route and observes that secession can possibly lead to war. Meanwhile, there are more developments with federal institutions. In Florida, Fort Pickens does not receive reinforcements that arrive on the USS Brooklyn. There is a desire by both state and federal authorities to maintain the balance of power. However, in Arkansas, the state troops have no issue with taking possession of United States munitions that have been stored at Napoleon. And that's where things stand at the end of this week. Tune in next week as we continue to follow what develops in 1861. Thank you for listening to Dispatches from the Civil War, written, produced, recorded, and developed by myself with assistance provided by Rosemary and Paige, the podcast kitties. If you've enjoyed this or other episodes, please consider putting up a review and recommending it to your friends. Until next time, keep fit as a fiddle and toe the mark.